Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Liberty jumping to music with our horses who are our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles course. Sadie doing obstacles without rein control. Training miniature zebu bull Rusty to pull an implement. Sadie jumping on the north-south track. Okay, we are working with Sadie today for the first time on our jumps on our north-south track. These are our vinyl jumps that generally are on turf, but we decided to come over to our north-south track where it's a sanded ground, introduce our horses to stepping over and eventually jumping over these jumps, which, notice, have flowers, various colored flowers in the posts, just as another item to desensitize the horses to. You know, when you go to horse shows and other events, oftentimes there are fake flowers around with various colors, and we just want to make sure our horses are not worried about them as predators. Now here comes Sadie. Again, this will be her second time through, going this direction. Good. All right, sounds like Alexis was trying to get her to stay at a walk. But we'll do it both directions at a walk, and then we'll try it at a jog, and then we'll decide.
I was going to try a jog right now.
Okay, if you feel ready.
Walking over them. And
yeah, she seems to be just fine, not showing a lot of stress. So one small step at a time when we're ready. And let's see if she'll jog over now. Gosh, very nice. Now let's see how stressed she is after the jump. Looks like Alexis was able to maintain stress-free response very quickly. Good. Now how about here? She seems like she's not real stiff and stressed coming over the jumps. You remember when we worked Eve the other day,
yeah.
We had that problem?
I think Eve definitely had more anxiety coming over. I mean,
in this direction.
We finished the last jump, you know, but
right.
She seems to, I mean, she feels more like excited, you know. Like,
okay, let's do some repetition. Let's keep doing it, and then, you know, maybe as you pick up speed, she'll jump rather than step over.
Should I just do a faster trot?
Yes, whatever you feel comfortable doing with my 3-year-old Sadie. Let's see what she's ready for. Every horse is different. Every horse has propensity to do certain things without stress, and others might be stressed, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with age. All right, she hit that rail, so I'm going to go and pick up the rail, but she probably is not concerned about it. But that's what I'll do next, is pick up the rail and we'll try again. All right, now we're going to try Sadie over these 2 jumps again, only you can see that as long as I was picking up the rail, I put it up to the 2nd rung. Let's see what she does. We may very well want to bring it down, but she's been so good so far today that we just feel like maybe we're going to be ready to challenge her. Yes, she did beautifully. Very nice. I don't think we'll challenge any more than that, other than a little bit more speed and repetition for a few more minutes. We want to stop on a good note. Let's see if she'll go back this direction without stress.
What do you think of that?
That was gorgeous.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Now, how about coming back this direction?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you how you want to repeat. You haven't tried this direction. Let's see if she'll do it, and then let's repeat. Oh, very nice. Little bit of stress in her mouth. Little bit, but you know, it's excitement rather than stress, I think. I think she's enjoying herself. How about
let her kind of think about that for a second? Cause that was
okay, good. Yeah, let's let her rest and be stress-free for a moment without any requests. Just kind of meander around. Let her see the flowers.
Not too interested.
Good. Good.
Not edible.
These kind of distractions, we just need to desensitize them to them. All right, we are thinking of taking the horses to a gymkhana in a couple weeks locally here, so we expect to see things like fake flowers all over the place.
Big horses all over the place.
And many, many horses all over the place. So we're working on reminding the horses how to load into the trailer. We're doing okay on that. We're just doing repetition. And then we'll see what's happening with them in a couple weeks and decide whether we want to go places. It's a schooling show with a gymkhana on Saturday afternoon. Oh, very nice. She barely tipped it with her back legs, but it didn't even fall. And I don't expect her to get stressed by the fact that she tipped it. We're also going to be practicing barrels or barrel-like patterns with my horses at various speeds before we go to the gymkhana. So we'll probably be doing that this week or next week. Oh, bit of a tangle, but she was fine on it. So I'm going to stop the camera for a minute, pick up that rail. Let's make sure that that doesn't scare her and cause any kind of refusal in the future. Okay, we've got the rail set up again where it was when she tipped it last time. Let's see if that scares her into refusing.
Maybe if we do good this time, we'll just stop.
Yes, we're going to try to stop on a good note today. We don't want to push it. Let's see what she says about going over it now. We hope that... There we go.
Yay.
There we go. Now, the only thing is, Alexis,
yep.
The last time when she did tip that rail, you were going the other direction.
Uh-huh.
So do you feel like you want to try that?
I feel like that was good.
You feel like just, even though it was a different direction for now, since we're learning and she's learning, and we want to stop on a good note, so that's all for today.
Yeah.
www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. Click on the Sadie tag if you'd like to see what she has done in the recent past. Windy day in Santa Cruz, but we are asking Sadie to take some jumps here on the north-south track, kind of as a follow-up to our last lesson a couple days ago. We've put the jumps a little bit farther apart so that if there is any rushing feeling after the first jump, Alexis has a way to work with Sadie in between the jumps, doing circles and disengagements and so forth. So here we go. We're going this direction. This was her hard direction last time. Let's see how she does this time. Beautiful. Very nice. All right, now will she be stress-free, focused, in spite of this very, very heavy wind. By the way, there is a fire in Santa Cruz County today, unfortunately, in the hills.
How was that?
Beautiful. Let's a little bit of repetition, and then that'll be all we'll do today for jumping. I would like to ask you to go into the square pen for a few minutes after the jump lesson.
Okay.
You'll see why. I might be able to get some camera footage on it too. Our very next activity, trying to get ready for this gymkhana, if we go to it, will be barrel racing. Very nice. All right. That was beautiful. Sadie's a natural. You want to try one in this direction, and then we'll say 3 is the charm.
Want to try one? What?
Going this direction, from the north to the south. Although last time when we had our lesson, north to the south was working out just fine at the end of the lesson. Let's see what she says now. It's on the second jump cup. Yes. Oh my goodness, that was just absolutely perfect. So what I'm going to do is let Alexis and Sadie just hang out for a few minutes, and I'm going to set up the camera in the square pen so you can see what our next challenge is with Sadie and our other Morgan horses.
That was great, huh?
Well, Alexis is now here in the 44-foot square pen. It's my covered square pen. And there's some creaking going on from the wind outside, but we don't feel the wind. And we're just giving Sadie an opportunity to be in here to cloverleaf at a very slow pace around these barrels that are set up close to each other, but nevertheless in the barrel pattern. So far, so good. Now, Sadie can do a nice, slow, collected jog at some point in this preliminary lesson. We may ask her to jog. Transitions are important here. We need to keep her in the jog, but remember, this is her first time doing this. We'll next do it in the uncovered arena, which is larger, and then we could easily set up some barrels on the longer track if we want an even bigger space. Sadie's doing quite well here, and this is just to give you an idea what our next ranch versatile activity is going to be. We'll introduce my other Morgan horses to the barrels here in the square pen and then move them out into the larger arenas. Very nice. Matter of transitions, can we keep them at the same pace when we want them to stay in the same pace? Right now, a little bit of confusion, that's okay. These barrels have some water in them, so they're not likely to fall over if a horse tips them. It's water with bleach in it, by the way, so that there's no algae growth. A little bit of a trip. Okay, she's got to learn to be flexible, light, know where her feet are. These are all of the skills, the prerequisite skills we need in order to.
She's straight down a lot going to the left. I think that has more to do with her flexibility.
Okay, in order to make my Morgan horses ranch versatile with barrel racing, now Alexis was just telling me that Sadie's hard side is to her left, and she tends to break down here in the gait going to her left. See, it's just something that we've noticed in our other activities, something we continue to work with. And this square pen does have watering system up in the sprinkling system up in the ceiling. Next time I will turn it on ahead of time. I didn't do it today, and the sand, as you can see, is quite dusty. But okay, this was just an introduction, and we're done with our lesson today with Shadrach, Sun and Shine Sadie, and she gets a very good grade in spite of the ominous, possibly predator-perceived wind that's happening all around us. Thank you, Sadie. Thank you, Alexis. This is Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. www.urbancowgirlchannel.com. Please let me know if you have any questions or suggestions.
Semi jumping on the north-south track.
Semi, my 6-year-old, out on jumping the vinyl jumps on our north-south track on sand. She has done a lot of jumping with these jumps on turf in our pastures, but for a few weeks, a few months, we're accustoming each horse to do the jumping here on sand on our north-south track with different distractions and possibly even different heights. So Rosie is warming her up and about to take the jumps. You'll see our first attempt with Semi at jumping on the north-south track. So Rosie's asking Semi to stop, which is always a good idea, and back. And especially if you feel like you're getting any kind of stress or resistance, get their left brain attention, their respect, get them supple, flexed, and try again. We much prefer to train that way than to try to keep iron hold contact on the bit to keep the horse from rushing, which is a problem that needs to be dealt with when you're jumping. Sometimes. Rosie is quite an experienced jumper, and Semi is the most experienced of my Morgan horses in jumping. Again, we're doing warm up, warm up, warm up. There's no rush. Especially this first time on the north-south track with our vinyl jumps. We want this to be a stress-free situation as much as possible. A lot of circles and flexion requests, collection requests, even between the jumps. It's a good idea to get that proper attitude. Rosie will know when it's time to ask Semi to do the jumping. Closer and closer to the jump she goes. That's a way to deal with obstacles. Get them closer and closer. Approach, retreat. And in fact, you can consider jumps of this sort, especially with the flowers in them, which we put in there to desensitize our horses to it. You can consider jumps as obstacles. So you use obstacle desensitization techniques. This is just my driveway covered with sand. It's a rock driveway covered with sand. We have a portion of it on north-south, and we have a portion of it on the east-west track, we call it. Semi is usually very good at collection and attention. Whatever we're asking her for. Let's see if Rosie goes for it now. It looks like she's feeling comfortable. But not for the second jump. Okay. She elected.
She didn't do the first one nearly good enough to go over the second one.
Okay, and Rosie's saying she didn't feel that Semi did the first one nearly good enough to go for the second one. So.
That's why I didn't want them too close, so I could be able to do only one if I wanted to.
And Rosie set up these jumps a little bit farther apart than I've been setting them up when we worked with Eve and we worked with Sadie. But she said it's optional how far apart you put them, and she wanted them to be farther apart today so that if she didn't feel total collection, total relaxation after the first jump, that she'd have room to deal with the stress in between the jumps. And that's a very, very good idea. Natural horsemanship trainers such as Clinton Anderson suggest this kind of warm-up work between jumps is very important when you have a horse that feels stressed or rushing. That looked good to me. Yeah, and Rosie's petting Semi, so she must have been happy with Semi's body language as well. And Semi appears to me to be very relaxed at this point. Rosie's picking up a bit of a jog again, but doing it in circles. At this point, let's see what happens if she tries this jump again, whether Rosie feels comfortable with Semi to ask her to do the second jump. We have 4 such jumps. At some point we might bring the other 2 over here and work with all 4 of them on this track. We've been working with Semi now for about 7 minutes with camera on, and about 5 minutes before we turn the camera on. A lot of warm-up work for horses that are being asked to jump in strange places, who aren't jumping a lot in their careers. Give them every opportunity to do it stress-free. Well, Rosie did ask Semi to do that jump this time. I'm not even sure my camera moved fast enough to cover it. Let's have Rosie come up here and tell us how that felt.
It was pretty good. She rushed a very tiny bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Okay, and Rosie's saying she felt that Semi was rushing a tiny bit, but not badly.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't too bad at all.
So that she chose to take that second jump. It looked fine to me. As a matter of fact, you were going so fast, I had trouble following it with the camera. Okay, you just saw Semi taking the second jump again with a little bit of stress. Rosie has been working with her on calming techniques while I was doing something else and had the camera off, but let's see now what Rosie elects to do. Number 1 priority today is to get the right attitude towards this particular ranch versatile activity, not necessarily to be able to take these jumps. Stop and back. Great exercise for attitude. More stop and back. You see, here's the jump. Approach, retreat, more ho. back. Ah, look at that stress.
She doesn't feel stressed, she just feels unresponsive.
Unresponsive, Rosie says. Why do you think, Rosie?
Because she's just not collected enough as a horse. I mean,
Due to lack of collection and attention.
And lack of, yeah. I mean, and also, she hasn't been worked regularly in a long time, and so she's just, it's hard mental work to stay responsive and collected and respectful when she's doing something really exciting and fun, like jumping.
Okay, it's a mental challenge to stay responsive, collected, because we haven't been doing this a whole lot. This is the first time we brought Semi out here in this environment with the jumps. So you're seeing us do a lot more than just jumping. Oh, and we've got Sadie coming through here to go to the pasture. Okay, Rosie, you want to wait?
Yeah.
Okay, this is Eve's daughter, and she's going to get to be turned out right now, which is a good exercise for her, a good exercise for Semi, to see each other heading for different places, different activities. We like them to be happy in the herd, but we also don't want to have to deal with herd-bound negative behavior. Looks like Sadie is doing well on going out to her pasture all by herself. Some more circles. Never too many of those. Show patience. Show persistence, but show patience when you're working with young horses that are learning a new task. It's so important. Okay, we're going to go out on the trail in a moment here with Eve. Let's just have you do whatever you feel is appropriate for a finish to this lesson, Rosie. Do you want to try the jump, or?
I'm going to do it.
Okay, Rosie said she's going to do it. And although I saw some stress in Semi's mouth, I'm not seeing a lot of stiffness now, and Rosie is giving Semi praise for accomplishing our pair of jumps once again on the north-south track. Goodbye for now. Sonia Sokol, the Urban Cowgirl.
Shadrack Stables at Midmore Farms. Sadie and Eve. Semi. Rusty and Susie. www.thesokolos.com